There's a very interesting mitzvah we read about at the end of this week's Parsha called the Egla Arufa, in which a corpse is found in a field somewhere between cities. And so they basically measure which city it's closest to. And then the rabbis of that city do this whole procedure in which they break the neck of a calf as an atonement because someone died. And then they make a declaration in which they say, these rabbis say, these judges say, that even though this person died, our hands did not spill this blood and our eyes did not see. Rashi famously comments, quoting the Gemara in Maseches Sota, that it's kind of curious that the rabbis, these holy people, make a declaration that we didn't do this. We didn't see this. Would we have thought that these lofty individuals, these holy rabbis, would have literally murdered this person? Is that what they're declaring that they didn't do? Because otherwise we would have thought that they did that. So Rashi explains that actually no, what they're declaring is not that they didn't kill the person, but rather they didn't even see the person. They didn't see a guest enter their city, and then they went ahead and dismissed him without food or without escorting the person out of the city. So it's very, very interesting Rashi and whole episode. And what emerges from here minimally is that the rabbis are saying we did not see anyone who could have used our extra attention or help. It sounds like if we would have seen them and we ignored them, then maybe there'd be some kind of liability involved with that, which is a very fascinating idea. And I think it teaches a very important lesson about the importance of hosting people. Not just hosting people, but really taking care of them and taking care of their needs. And not just hosting people, but maybe you're in an environment and somebody new comes in. How are you treating them? Are you ignoring them? Or are you paying close attention to everything that they possibly need? And it's very interesting. Rabbi Shmuel Berenbaum in Tiferes Shmuel points out a very maybe not well-known aspect of the mitzvah of chesed, of the mitzvah of hachnasas orchim, of hosting people. Part of the mitzvah is the mitzvah of escorting people out. Meaning it's not enough that I have you into my home and I give you food and drink and I converse with you. And then at the end of the meal, I'm like, okay, I'll see you later. Bye. And then the person just gets up and leaves. Part of the mitzvah of hosting people is literally walking them out the door and starting them on their way. And Rabbi Berenbaum emphasizes how important of a mitzvah this is, that perhaps if not for doing this mitzvah, a person might not feel as valued. A person might feel, if they're not escorted out of the home, they might feel like they're just the object of the other person's kindness and chesed, but that they themselves don't have intrinsic value or worth for the host. And it's very, very interesting because there's another passage in the Talmud which says that the reward for escorting people out it's so great that it's beyond value. We can't even calculate how great the reward is. It's a really big deal to bring somebody out. And I think the reason that Rabbi Berenbaum says that is a lot of times when someone is given to, if you're feeding me and you're giving me to drink, then there's this dynamic in which I'm the receiver, you're the giver, I'm the receiver, and I might feel inadequate. But by you taking the time as my host and getting up and walking me out, you're infusing me with value, with honor. That's going to make me feel like a really special person. And that's perhaps why it's such a big deal to go ahead and escort people out. Because when we host people, we have to remember, it's not just about doing the mitzvah of chesed and feeding them and having a good time ourselves, but we really need, when we host, to try to demonstrate to the people we're hosting how important they are and how grateful we are that they are with us and spending their time with us. And I think both when we host for Shabbos meals and meals in general, or when we do any act of kindness or chesed, it's very important that the person who's doing the kindness really focus on how they treat the object, so to speak, of their chesed and the object of their kindness. When somebody comes and knocks on our door because they need tzedakah, are we quickly trying to get rid of them, just write a quick check and get rid of them? Or are we really trying to talk to them and hear their story and appreciate what they're going through and empathizing with them? And that honestly is a tremendous opportunity we have when we can do chesed, to really closely look at the needs of the person and make sure that all of their needs are met and they themselves as a human feel deeply valued. Have a beautiful Shabbos.